Hey, it's Tuesday at 2, Circle B Diecast in Concord, North Carolina, talking NASCAR racing and having the time of our life. We are so glad that you have joined us. Those of you joining us on our traditional channels, like our Facebook Live and YouTube and Twitter. Those of you, I see you TikTokers down here as well. We're glad that everybody has joined us here on the program. So good stuff. Daniel, Scott, and John have joined us in the chat room. And if you would like to join in and have a question, want to talk a little NASCAR racing or such, we can certainly do that and have a good time doing it. If you have a question, something you want to kick around, jump on in. Type it in there in the comment section, whether you're on TikTok or on our other channels, and we can kick it around. That is for sure. The NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Xfinity Series, and ARCA Menard Series wrapping up a big weekend at Watkins Glen International, where Kyle Larson scored the victory not only on Sunday with the Cup race, but on Saturday. And both of those diecasts are available in the Saturday Xfinity diecast and the Sunday Cup Series diecast are available for pre-order. So yes, go to circlebdiecast.com and get your Kyle Larson race-winning diecast. You know, Larson's one of our guys. He's been here multiple times, and we love seeing him have the success he's having. So what a wild weekend up there at Watkins Glen. Great weekend, that's for sure. We wondered if we would get a new winner. Looked like in the rain, we were going to get a new winner. Michael McDowell in the rain. That's what he said after the race. I don't know if you heard it on MRN after the race. What more did you need? We needed more rain. We could, he said the Hendrick cars were so good. The Hendrick cars were so good, he said, but the rain equalized us. And but it was good stuff. It was great stuff. It was fascinating to see the race in the rain. It was interesting. And, it was good times. That's for sure. That's for sure. Scott wants to know, why is everyone mad at Kyle Larson? That's racing. Scott, here's one of the problems. We all have way too much of listening to everyone. One of my producers came in and said, on Twitter, they said, there you go. You know what happened? Two race car drivers hauled it off into turn number 1, racing for the win in a series where we do not have team orders. Let's make note of that, because not every series in the world you would have that. One was the aggressor, took the lead and took the win. That same one this morning, holding court with reporters at Martinsville, said, probably need to show a little bit more respect going forward. That's fine. That's all well and good. One, the guy on the opposite side, was pissed off. And yes, that's all well and fine. They both can be accurate. And that's what we have, NASCAR racing. Two guys going after it, going for the win. And exactly. John, my thoughts on all of the chase track. Here's the problem. It depends on what side you're on. Okay? And I'm going to pick on my dirt racers. I went on Twitter, which was my bad. Shouldn't go on Twitter. Okay? And one of my dirt track buddies, finally, we had a good NASCAR race. Son, you haven't been paying attention to NASCAR all year long. If you think that was the first good race we had, okay? You've got the Chase Elliott fans who are just over the top, wringing their hands. Oh my gosh. You know what? That's the beauty of our sport. And if you get on any of the social channels and you pay attention to too much of it, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Crazy. So, both can be true. And I don't know. And here's the reality of it. I'm looking, John Zip, Scott Seymour, Clifford, Bob. I don't see any of your names on the roster driving cars. Steve Post's name. I haven't started one cup race in my career. Not one. I think stuff that happens on the racetrack, I think the drivers have a better understanding of it than a lot of us that have Twitter do. So consequently, it's great. It gives us a lot to talk about. And Kyle overstepped his boundaries. If he did it on the most popular driver, and so be it. If he was perfectly fine doing it, then so be it also. It's great. It's what it's all about. And we're all talking NASCAR racing and everyone is twisted up. There we go. So that's my thought on all the chase stuff. Okay. So from John, how about the pass? Clifford says, what's your view on the rivalry that's happening between them? Now it is interesting. Rivalry, Bob, is a little bit of a stretch, but just a little bit. Because remember, Kyle's last win at Auto Club, he kind of ran Chase out of real estate going down into turn number 1. So rivalry is interesting. Stay tuned. Maybe we do get an in-team rival. Kyle was a little bit need to show a little more respect, is what he said today, holding court with reporters up in Martinsville. So stay tuned. But it is good. It's we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Bob, your point is there's twice now. We have twice now. Kyle Larson's last 2 wins, he's ran the 9 car out of racetrack. So yeah, see what happens with it. Running people out of racetrack. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Somebody in the next 11 races of NASCAR will win somebody out of racetrack again. Take that to Vegas. Somebody will run. I mean, it just is. It's racing. Run them out of racetrack. Yeah, So good. It is, and it's fine. Kyle Larson and Kyle Larson fans have every right to crow about getting that win, and Chase Elliott and Chase Elliott fans have every right to not crow about that win getting taken from them. Both can be true. There's the problem. There's the problem. All right, I'm going soapbox here. Our society. We live in an or society. We live in a society where Kyle Larson was right, Chase Elliott was wrong, or Chase Elliott was right, Kyle Larson is wrong. Okay? We live in that society. Both statements can be true. Kyle Larson was right for aggressively driving down into that racetrack, and Chase Elliott is rightly pissed off that it happened. They both can be the case, and that's the thing. I think we get into this. We want a good guy or a bad guy. It depends on your perspective. We want a Republican or a Democrat. Oh, do I dare go there? Oh my gosh, yes I did. We want this. We want that. We want the bad guy. We want the good guy. Sometimes they're just 2 racers going for it. Yeah, am I wrong? I don't know. They're both pretty good guys. They're both pretty good race car drivers. Last 2 champions. They both have caught the attention of Rick Hendrick, and he's paying them money to go drive the race cars. So I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I really do. I think it's interesting, and I think it's great. Great, just fun to have this banter back and forth. As long as you don't get all too serious about it. That producer friend, I was on Twitter. They said, I can't believe it. He's a dirt track guy. I can't believe it. Chase Elliott fans. I can't believe Chase. Stop. Time out. You started this by saying I was on Twitter. What you gonna do? And we're on Twitter right now. And I love Twitter to some degree, and I don't love Twitter. So will Chase Elliott return the favor? I don't think he will. Just my opinion. Chase Elliott, I think that I'll be interested to see. I don't return the favor. Will he run Kyle Larson out of racetrack sometime? Maybe. Chase doesn't have a long history of doing that, though. So I don't know. What did happen at that competition meeting? I'm not sure. We'll see, Michael. We'll see what happens with it. That's the beauty of it. We'll keep an eye on those 2. You can bet we'll keep an eye on those 2 rascals. You bet. Absolutely. So good stuff. Great stuff. Yeah. Scott says 50-50. Well, I think if you're a Chase fan, you have every right to be pissed off. And if you're a Kyle fan, you have every right to say, what are the Chase Elliott fans pissed off about? I think both. So good stuff. Absolutely. Craig Sprint 27C. Craig Pellegrini sold all the sprint car stuff, and I'll be racing a TQ. Oh, indoors. Okay, Craig. You had me. I was pissed off when you said you sold all your sprint car stuff, but then you said you'd be racing TQs indoors. We're going to have a good time with indoor auto racing. Allentown, Atlantic City, coming up in January. Woo, man. I'll tell you what, that's some good stuff. So look forward to seeing you there, Craig. That's going to be awesome. That really, truly is. So fun stuff. Really, the NASCAR, the NASCAR world has been just so exciting this year. So much fun this year. And here we go into Daytona. You want to talk about a wild card. Oh my gosh. I mean, just I have who's going to win the race? Yeah. Good luck picking that one. Um, it's just fascinating. It's going to be fun stuff. It really is, and I think that's the great part about where we're at with NASCAR. I think it's just awesome that we have all of this stuff going on and lots of racing back and forth, and teammates maybe a little bit hacked off at each other. Again, I want to go back to one thing I stated just a bit ago. There are other series in the world where that would not have happened because one driver would have been instructed to fall in line behind the other driver. That's kind of the beauty of NASCAR. So while it's the beauty of NASCAR, while we take the beauty of NASCAR, sometimes the beauty gets a little murky. And that's all right too, because it's sports and it's entertainment and it is good times. It really is. And what a great time. Watkins Glen, man, the place was full of people, full of people. Hey, what'd y'all think of that rain racing too? That was pretty wild, other than my socks got wet. I mean, other than that, I was pretty cool with it. It was good. And, I thought it was interesting. I would prefer dry track racing though. But it was interesting, and we'll go from there. So Lee over on TikTok says Logano will win. He very well could. He's really really good at that racing. But so are a lot of other people. Logano could win the race. Or Logano could be sitting at his home in Mooresville, North Carolina when the checkered falls because they could all go down into turn number 2 on lap number 3 and wad up a bunch of cars. That's just Daytona racing. And so I think that's what makes this one so interesting. I just think it's fascinating. I just think where we're at with it is I think the person who designed this schedule with Daytona being the last race is 50% evil and 50% genius. And I could go with either one of them. That's for sure. Because I cannot imagine being Ryan Blaney coming into this. I cannot, Ryan Blaney is the one to me. It's like he gets caught up in that turn 3 wreck on lap number 2. It's over. And there's nothing he can do about it. Now, Ryan Blaney could go win that race too. Ryan Blaney could get in that wreck. Martin Truex Jr. could get in a lap 17 wreck and not be able to get enough points to get by him, and Blaney could be in. It's like, it's good. So whoever did this, 50% evil, 50% genius. But it's going to be fun to watch, that's for sure. And even more fun to listen to on MRN. That's what you should do. You should listen on MRN. Those guys paint a picture over there. Oh, they paint a picture over there. So it is good. Can't wait to get down to Daytona, the World Center of Speed. Going to be good fun. World Center of Racing down at Daytona Beach, Florida, and it is going to be awesome. That is for sure. Down there, we've got the Xfinity Series on Friday night. That's been a fun year as well. And then we've got the Cup Series on Saturday night, going to race with the Coke Zero Sugar, blah, 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 presented by this one, presented by that, 400. So, I don't know. It's going to be good. Good stuff, that's for sure. What else we got going on? Let's see. Oh, I saw somebody posted way up to the top, and I wanted to get to that. I think it's a great question. Norman did. Any idea about the 2023 schedule will come out? I'm hearing we're a couple weeks out from that. I don't think it happens this week or next week, Norman, because they are not going to say, hey, the playoffs are coming this week, but let's drop this bomb on you. I think we get into the playoffs before it happens. So, maybe somewhere around when we get to Kansas or Vegas, I think it comes out maybe second week of September. I don't think they're going to announce it between now and the playoffs starting. I could be wrong, or it could leak. That could happen too. But I don't think they're going to announce it between now and the start of the playoffs, because why take energy away from the playoffs? We are all twisted up. We're all wound up about these playoffs. We don't know who's getting in. We don't know where they're going to be seated. We start the playoffs in Darlington. Whoever did that is just 100% genius. Whoever decided to start this thing at Darlington just needs an attaboy. So we start at Darlington. So I don't think between now and then anyone's going to want to do anything to focus the attention off from that. Now, like I said, it could leak. And if it does, so be it. But I don't think we get a formal announcement until sometime after Darlington at that point. So my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's my thoughts on it as far as that goes. So great stuff. So, Fun times for sure. Scott says, I think it's been a pretty year. Awesome Daniel Suarez win at Sonoma. Suarez, look at that. He had a 5th place finish at Watkins Glen. Not sure what's going on with the 1 car. Now, we could talk a little bit about that. The 1 car, Ross Chastain's looking average now, where he went the first 20 races looking superhuman. So, you know, and people are like, well, ever since. I'm telling you what, folks, it is so tough to go 36 weeks at the top of the game. And people learn new things. People find out new things. People learn new little tweaks of the race cars. It's just difficult to do. And that's always my concern when you see a team like Ross Chastain come out flying like that, because it's like, what are they going to be doing in October and November? You know, where you sit and you look, do you like, okay, here's a question. Do you like Ross Chastain or Kevin Harvick? When you look at their season, Ross Chastain is the man with the plan. They're both 2-time winners, but for the championship, I don't know. Harvick's got some momentum on his side. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. And so, but I agree with you, Scott, that Daniel Suarez win at Sonoma was awesome. Daniel Suarez, one of the just great guys in the sport, and just fun stuff. So absolutely great stuff for sure. So yeah. Okay. Anything else? Let's see. I don't see anything else. Yeah, it's all good. Do you think we'll get a 16th winner? Do you think, Jarrett says, do you think we get a 16 different winner Sunday, at Saturday night at Austin, Dillon, or Bubba? See, that's the problem if you're Ryan Blaney, because you're Jarrett. Either one of those could happen and nobody would be shocked. Eric Jones could win that race. Michael McDowell could win that race. One of our guys, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., could win that race. And there's more, I'm sure. That's why your question right there, your question is why Ryan Blaney is not sleeping this week, because Austin Dillon or Bubba Wallace could easily win that race. So I actually think we do get in my opinion, the challenge is there's so many of those drivers. You know, we just rip 5 right off from our head here. Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones. We've got Michael McDowell. Who was the one I had? I had another one. I said Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Okay, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher. They won the dual races, so there's 7 right there. There's 7 that I just pulled out that I think could win. So to your question about it, do you think we get a 16th winner? Yeah, I think we can get a 16th different winner, because there's 7 likely candidates or good candidates there. Now, do we get a 16th different winner? His name Ryan Blaney. He won there last year. So Ryan Blaney is in that camp of capable of winning at Daytona. And so, I don't know. I guess that's why you'll have to tune into MRN Radio. 6 p.m. airtime, Eastern Daylight Time, on Saturday night, and find out, because I just think that it's good. Norman says, when do you think Kurt will be back? If he's coming back, will his waiver be pulled? If he comes back, I think it's going to be where he is in points. Well, no, he's good now. In fact, I think he's all right, because he's got to win, and there would only be 16 winners. So I think he's all right on that. I think he would be, and I think if there's a waiver process that needs to happen, he would be. I would be fairly confident he would get the waiver process. The whole, you must compete in every race to get done, to be qualified. I think point wise, because we're not going. I think where it got interesting for him is if we had more than 16 winners, and we will not have more than 16 winners. So I think he's in, and I think he gets whatever approval process he needs based on NASCAR performance. These concussions, folks, whew, man, they are scary. They are scary. And so Kurt's doing what his doctors are saying. And it's not Kurt's call. It's not really NASCAR's call. I mean, NASCAR can call whether he's got a waiver to get in and everything else. But Kurt's doctor's got to clear him first. And so that's the challenge to me. And these concussions, I was talking, and it's a show that'll be on MAV TV this weekend. Those of you Canadians, Rev TV, we had sprint car driver Paul McMahon on our Wing Nation program. And he's suffering from a concussion from August of last year. And every one of these is different. What Kurt's dealing with, what Paul McMahon's dealing with, what Dale Earnhardt Jr. dealt with, what both of my daughters dealt with soccer concussions, what I've dealt with concussions. If you've banged your heads and seen stars, you've had concussions. We just don't know. We just don't know, Norman. So I think if he's able to come back from a health perspective, he will be in the playoffs and be allowed to race. But beyond that, I think that's it. So DJ wants to know about the 23 update. DJ, go back and listen. Where you at? We start this thing at Tuesday at 2 or 2:02 or 2:18 like last week. You're going to have to go back and listen. Oh, and DJ, it was brilliant what I said about it, too. It was brilliant what I said about it. So someone just typed over on TikTok, Eric Almirola. Again, Eric Almirola could win that race. Yeah, good stuff. So there you go. Fun stuff. AJ says, Denny said, Kurt threw the 3 races in the playoffs on the waiver. All right, so if AJ said it, it's true. There you have it. There is the Wall Street Journal, there is USA Today, and there is AJ. And boy, I tell you what, they're the big 3 when it comes to spouting the truth. Some of you will debate Wall Street Journal and USA Today. Nobody's going to debate it on AJ. So, yeah, if Kurt said that, then that's where we're at with it on the playoff waiver. The challenge you get to at that point is you're 3 races in and you haven't raced, well, you're going to have no points. So you're 3 races in. I guess in theory we're talking about that. If I'm reading you right, AJ, if he's able to come back, what is it? It's Darlington, Kansas, Vegas, I think is the schedule, the 3rd race. He would need to then win Vegas, whatever that 3rd race back is. No, Bristol. Kurt could go win Bristol. Kurt could roll in there and win Bristol. So I guess if that's the case, once you get past that, then math-wise, he's not going to transfer. There's the problem with that, I think. So if I'm reading it right. And stay tuned. We'll see what happens. He's got to get cleared, that's for sure. Yeah, Scott says he's dealt with concussions for 5 years, and it's not cool. You just don't know. I'm very fortunate. Both of my daughters had concussions playing soccer. One had a little bit longer-term recovery from it than the other one, but you just don't know. You just don't know. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, there you have it. How about that? Pretty good time here on our Tuesday at 2 visit, you think? Going to Daytona, baby. Oh, man, can't wait to get down there. Going to put my toes in the sand. Might even put my toes in the water. Go in there and do a little body surfing. Yeah, get out there and have a good time in the ocean. It's going to be fun. It really, truly is. We love it. Love going to Daytona, and then the playoffs start at Darlington, and we'll talk all about that once we get next week here on our Tuesday at 2 visit. So remember, all of your Kyle Larson race-winning diecast from this past weekend, the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series diecast is available. CircleBDiecast.com. Get that pre-ordered so you've got your name on one when they come out, and get that taken care of. And we'll go on and keep moving onward to Daytona. So appreciate everyone joining us here on our visit. Had a great, great time catching up and talking here on our Tuesday at 2 visit. I'm the Postman, Steve Post from Motor Racing Network. Remember, all your diecast needs, www.circlebdiecast.com.